Exercise 12, Conversation 1. Listen to part of a conversation between two students on campus.
We seem to be having this conversation over and over again.
You're right.
Look, I know how you feel about my smoking. You don't have to tell me every day.
I'm sorry. I worry about you.
I know, but work and school have me so stressed out. Maybe I'll be able to quit after I graduate.
Let's be honest. There's always going to be a reason not to. After you graduate, it's going to be hard to find a job. Then there will be the stress from just starting a job. Then there will be...
Okay, I get your point. It's just so hard. You don't really understand because you never smoked.
You need some help. Why don't you go to a doctor?
You mean a psychiatrist?
No, I don't. I mean a general practitioner. Maybe you can get a patch or some pills. Well, I don't know, something to help you with the withdrawal. Because that's what it is.
Really, I believe I can quit on my own, just not right now. But I'll think about what you said. I will.
All right. I won't mention it for a week. Then I want to know your decision. Because if you don't get some help, I need to rethink our plans.
You mean you'd break our engagement over this? I can't believe it.
I don't know. I love you. But I'm not sure I could accept everything that goes along with the smoking.
Number 1. What is the main topic of this conversation? Two. What does the woman suggest? Three. What does the man promise to do? Four. How does the man feel about the woman's decision? Five. What can we infer about the woman? Conversation 2. Listen to part of a conversation between two students in a college dormitory.
Want to go down to dinner, John? The line is going to close in about half an hour and I'm hungry.
What time is it?
6 o'clock. You had better go now if you want to eat. They're serving fish cakes and baked potatoes.
I don't think I'll go.
Oh, come on. Get yourself a big salad if you don't want fish. The dessert will probably be good.
No thanks, Bill. I think that I'll keep studying for a while and then maybe I'll order a pizza later.
Suit yourself. Do you have a test or something?
Yeah, it's not until Monday, but I want to go home this weekend.
Lucky you. 2 days of home cooking.
It sure beats the cafeteria at this place.
True. Well, knock on my door if you decide to get that pizza later.
Why? Aren't you going to eat either?
Sure, but I'll be hungry again by 10.
Number 1. What prompted this conversation? Two. Why is John studying? Three. When will the cafeteria close? Four. What does Bill want John to do? Five. What will Bill most probably do now? Exercise 13, Conversation 1. Listen to part of a conversation between two friends on campus.
Did you see that TV special on Norman Rockwell last night? You know, the one that Dr. Mitchell mentioned in class last Wednesday.
Yeah, I did. I don't have a TV, but I went over to a friend's house. It was really good, wasn't it?
It sure was. I thought it was really interesting how he developed the paintings in stages, starting with photographs. I'm glad Dr. Mitchell mentioned that in class, or I might not have understood that part of the program as well.
I thought that was interesting, too. It never occurred to me that he would have actually employed, models. I just assumed that he invented all those wonderful characters. Then when Dr. Mitchell said that the characters were real, well...
I know, but it does make sense to use photographs of real people to solve as many of the composition problems as well before starting to paint.
True. The special really made that clear, didn't it?
It did. I like the way they interspersed recreations of the modeling scenes with the actual Rockwells.
Really, that was awesome. I'm sorry I didn't record it.
I did.
Really?
Yeah. Do you want to see it again?
Sure. Hey, maybe we could do something for, extra credit?
That would be great. Let's talk to Dr. Mitchell about it.
Okay. He said he was open to extra credit projects. Oh, but you probably don't need any extra credit.
Oh, yes, I do. I don't do that well on tests, so...
Really? That's surprising. You're always the first to answer in class.
Sure, but the tests are essays, and I'm not that good at writing.
Okay, then. Let's do the extra credit.
Okay.
Anyway, you know what I like most about Rockwell?
What?
Well, when you look at one of the magazine covers, which magazine was it?
The Saturday Evening Post.
Right. Well, you can just tell what the people are thinking and feeling. The picture really tells a story.
Yeah, I like that too. And to think that he created several hundred of those.
Amazing. Of course, that was over a long period of time. Wasn't it almost 60 years? But still...
I'd like to see them when the exhibit comes to Miami.
What exhibit?
The one they mentioned after the special.
Oh, I must have turned it off before the announcement. I'd like to see it too.
Maybe we can work that into our extra credit project, going to the exhibit. But even if we can't, let's go.
Okay. When is it?
Next week. And it's here on campus, so that's easy.
Well, that gives us a couple of weeks before the end of the semester to finish the extra credit.
What do you want to propose for it? Remember, I'm not great at writing.
Well, you've already got the video, right?
Right.
Then why don't we submit the video and, some photographs of the exhibit? We could do a short introduction and maybe, I know, we could package it for the reserved desk at the library.
Great idea. That way, people who didn't have a chance to see the video or go to the exhibit, they could see the material in the library.
And the really good thing is that Dr. Mitchell can use it every semester for his class.
Wow, that's brilliant. He should like that. Now, all we have to do is write the proposal for the extra credit.
I'll do that. I really don't mind writing.
This is terrific. I can do the photos easily. I
was counting on that. After all, you're the art major.
Oh, just one thing. We'd better find out if I can shoot photos at the exhibit. I mean, sometimes they won't let you do that.
Even for a class project?
Look, I don't know, but I'll find out who to call for permission. Usually, you can get permission if it isn't for, profit.
Perfect. Just let me know as soon as you can so I can get going on the proposal.
Number 1. What do the speakers mainly discuss? Two. How did Rockwell paint such interesting faces? 3. What do we know about Rockwell? Four. What do the students plan to do for extra credit? Five. Listen again to part of the conversation, then answer the question.
Anyway, you know what I like most about Rockwell?
What?
Why does the woman say this?
Anyway, you know what I like most about Rockwell?
Six. What will the couple probably do? Conversation 2. Listen to part of a conversation between two students on campus.
So, Linda, how are you going to study for the final?
Me? I'm going to use my notes mostly, I guess.
You mean you aren't going to read the book?
Oh, well, yeah, I read the book, but I'm not going to spend that much time reviewing it. You know, I did that for the first couple of quizzes, but there were hardly any questions from the book on them at all. So, well, I figured that the midterm wouldn't have that much from the book either.
Well, you were right about that. Most of the questions did come from the notes.
From the notes, and, well, there were some from the handouts, too.
Right. Remember that question about, what was it, colonial art?
Colonial art? Oh, yeah, okay.
It was...
Directly from the handout. But I had some notes on that, too.
Did you? I'm not sure I did. Maybe your notes are more detailed, are better than mine.
I don't know about that. But I do try to write down everything I can in class, you know. Then I organize it into headings afterward.
You rewrite them?
Yeah, I do.
You rewrite all of your notes?
Yeah, it's part of my study plan.
That must take a lot of time.
Well, I guess so, but still I find that I remember better when I write something down.
Okay.
And besides, when I get ready to study for the final, I have everything in one place. Come to think of it, I think it probably saves me time.
Because you aren't organizing everything at the last minute for the tests.
Yeah, and I sort of remember more since I've already gone over it once.
Okay. That sure makes sense, but how do you find the time to do all that rewriting? I'm always behind as it is. I hardly have time to do the reading assignments.
But I think maybe you spend more time on the reading assignments than I do. I just skim over them before class. It probably doesn't take me more than, say, 15 or 20 minutes max.
You're joking.
No, really.
Then you must be a speed reader.
I read fairly fast, but remember, I'm just skimming.
Okay. But I'm not sure I know what you mean by that, by skimming.
Well, I'm looking for the main ideas before I listen to the lecture, so I pay a lot of attention to the headings and any words that are in bold type. If there's a summary at the end of the chapter, I read that more carefully.
Okay. But do you highlight the book or underline anything?
Oh, maybe once in a while. But it's not the way I'm using the book, really. I'm just getting some general background information so I can be, a better listener in class.
Now I see why you're going to use your notes for the final. By the way, how did you do on the midterm, using that system, I mean?
I got an A. Just barely. But an A anyway. I usually pull off an A, though. I have a scholarship, so you know how it is.
Okay. I got a B and I studied a lot for it. But I mostly went over the highlighted material in my book, and after I finished with that, I didn't have much time left to go over my notes.
Well, maybe you could start with the notes this time and, go over the book last.
No kidding. Thanks for the ideas, Linda. I guess it's too late to rewrite all my notes for the final, but I sure plan to spend more time organizing and studying my notes than I do reviewing the book this time.
Oh, and another thing. I never miss a class. You know, since the notes are so important.
No problem. I'm always there, too.
I thought so. But anyway, good luck, Bill. If you get an A on the final, you can still get an A for the course.
I know. I'm going to try. Hey, thanks again. I really appreciate your suggestions.
Number 1. What are the students mainly discussing? Two. Why does Bill mention colonial art? Three. How does Linda usually study for a test? Four. What kind of student is Linda? Five. Listen again to part of the conversation, then answer the question.
You rewrite them?
Yeah, I do.
You rewrite all of your notes?
Why does the man say this?
You rewrite all of your notes?
Six. What will Bill probably do? Exercise 14. Conversation 1. Listen to part of a conversation between a student and a secretary on campus.
Hello, Mrs. Kelly. I'd like to pick up my test, please.
Sure. Whose class are you in?
Dr. Purcell's math class.
And your name?
My last name is Raleigh. R-A-L-E-I-G-H.
That's right, Jim Raleigh. Here it is.
Thank you. And Terry Young's test, too, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't let you take someone else's test.
He's sick and he can't come in to get it. He's my roommate.
I understand, but the Privacy Act won't permit it.
Really? Maybe you could call him.
Not even then. I can only give a test to the student whose name appears on it. I can't even give it to a family member.
That's weird.
I think so too, frankly. But that's the law.
Okay, I'll tell Terry. Thanks anyway.
You're welcome. Tell him I'll just keep his test here until he feels better and can come in for it himself.
Okay, I'll do that.
Have a nice day, Jim.
You too, Mrs. Kelly.
Number 1. What do the speakers mainly discuss? Two. Why can't the woman give Terry Young's test to the man? Three. What is the man's last name? Four. How does the woman feel about the policy? Five. What will the man most probably do? Conversation 2. Listen to part of a conversation between a student and an advisor on campus.
I usually advise first-year engineering students to take mathematics, chemistry, and an introductory engineering course the first quarter.
Oh, That's only 3 classes.
Yes, but I'm sure that you'll be busy. They're all 5-hour courses, and you'll have to meet each class every day. The chemistry course has an additional 2-hour laboratory.
So that would be 17 hours of class a week.
That's right.
Okay, which mathematics course do you think I should take?
Have you taken very much math in high school?
4 years. I had algebra, geometry, trigonometry.
Good. Then I suggest that you take the math placement test. It's offered this Friday at 9 o'clock in the morning in Tower Auditorium.
Do I need anything to be admitted? I mean, a permission slip?
No, just identification. A driver's license will be fine.
Do I take a chemistry test too?
No. Chemistry 100 is designed for students who have never taken a chemistry course, and Chemistry 200 is for students who have had chemistry in high school.
I've had 2 courses.
Then you should take Chemistry 200, Orientation to Engineering, and either Mathematics 130 or 135, depending on the results of your placement test. Come back Friday afternoon. I should have your score on the test by then, and we can finish getting you registered.
Number 1. What is the purpose of this conversation? Two. How many classes does the woman advise the man to take? Three. What does the man need to be admitted to the examination? Four. What does the woman suggest? Five. What do we know about the student? Exercise 15, Conversation 1. Listen to part of a conversation between a student and a clerk at the campus bookstore.
Excuse me, do you work here?
Yes, I do. How can I help you?
Oh, well, I'm looking for a book for English 100.
Okay, textbooks are in the back of the store. Did you want a new book or a used book?
I don't know. Is there much difference? In the price, I mean.
Well, that depends. We price the used books based on depending on their condition. But in general, you can probably save, I'd say, at least 40%.
Oh, great. I'll do that then.
Okay, these are the used books over here. Now, which section are you signed up for? See, every instructor selects a book, so there are several different textbooks for each course. And English 100 is a core course, so there are a lot of sections.
I don't remember the number, but it meets at 8 o'clock.
In the morning? That sounds awful.
Really, I've registered late.
Do you know the instructor's name?
Yes, it's Henry. Henley.
Hendricks?
That's it, Hendricks.
Oh, well, that's not so bad then. She's a good teacher. I wish I'd taken that class with her.
That's what I heard. My roommate had her last semester.
Oh, then why don't you use your roommate's book? I don't think Hendricks changed the order this semester.
Wouldn't you know? My roommate sold all her books at the end of the term.
Oh, so she sold the one for this course? Too bad. Well, this is the shelf, and you're looking for a book called College Writing. I think it's green, or maybe green and blue. There should be a fairly clean one here.
Thanks. Look, here's one. Oh, but it's pretty marked up.
Let's see it. Sometimes it actually helps to use someone else's highlighting. I mean, if you happen to get an A student's book.
True. I see your point. But really, I'd really rather highlight it myself.
Okay. That one didn't look like it belonged to an A student anyway. Hey, look at this. I don't think there's a mark in it, except for the name.
Wow, that's great.
Wait, let's check on the edition.
The edition? Does that matter?
It really does. Sometimes there's new information in a later edition, so that's why the professor orders it. But the worst part is if the instructor is always referring to, say, page 50, and the information is on a different page in your edition. Well, it gets confusing.
Oh, anyway, this is the 10th edition.
And you need the 10th edition. You're really lucked out. The new one would have cost you at least $30, but this one's only $15.
Thanks.
Wait a minute. See this? Right over here, over the shelf? It's a list of the books that Professor Hendricks ordered. And it looks like, yep, you have another book for that class. It's not required, but it's recommended.
So I don't have to buy it?
No, it's up to you, but you'd better look. Take a look at it before you decide.
It looks like a handbook. Or really,
A style manual.
Exactly.
Well, then the instructor will probably want you to, use the format and style in this book for your essays.
I'd better get it then. Don't you think?
I would.
How much is it?
All of these are $10, but they're fairly clean because people don't usually write in a handbook. I mean, it's more of a reference.
Well, I'll take one then. This one looks good.
Okay. Are you looking for anything else?
No, just this. But I really appreciate your help. You saved me some money.
Glad it worked out for you. I'm a student, too. I just work here part-time, and believe me, I understand the problem. Most of the textbooks are $50 or $100. When you're taking, say, 4 classes, that really adds up.
It sure does. Anyway, thanks again.
Sure.
Number 1. What is the purpose of this conversation? Two. Why didn't the woman use her roommate's book? Three. According to the man, what is the problem with using an older edition? Four. Why does the woman buy the style manual? Five. Listen again to part of the conversation, then answer the question.
I don't think Hendricks changed the order this semester.
Wouldn't you know? My roommate sold all her books at the end of the term.
Why does the woman say this?
Wouldn't you know?
Six. What can we infer about the woman? Conversation 2. Listen to part of a conversation between a student and a librarian.
Hi, is it true that I can search the library catalog from home? I mean, from my home computer? One of my friends at the dorm told me I could do that, but I live off campus, so I wasn't sure whether it would work for me.
You're talking about the Oasis catalog, which is the online library catalog system. Here, it's easier if I just show you at this computer terminal.
Okay, thanks.
See, first you get online.
Oh, I get it. It's all through the internet.
Right. You click on a browser, then go to the library, the home page.
Wait. The home page is www.awu.com.
Right. See all those options? Oasis is what you want for the catalog. So you click on that.
Okay. Did you use a password or anything to get into it?
No. All you need is an internet connection. But if you actually want to look at the books...
I can do that.
Sure. You want to go to a different website, though. Here, first enter www.netlibrary.com. There. See? This site lets you access all the e-books in our system.
Oh, wow. Do you have many of those?
Thousands. They're all part of our collection. But we store them electronically, which means we don't have to have all that shelf space anymore.
Sounds good.
But if you want to access NetLibrary, then you'll need a username and a password.
So how do I just set that up online from home?
No, you have to set up the account here in the library. You can do that on this terminal if you like.
Great. Then I can see the books on screen from my apartment.
You can view the books from any place you have access to the internet. If you're out of town or you go somewhere on break, you can still use NetLibrary. Of course, we don't have all of our books online yet, but we're working on building the collection.
So can I go directly to NetLibrary to do a search, or do I have to go to, what do you call it, the Oasis catalog first?
You can go right to the NetLibrary if you want, but that'll just show you the books and databases that are online. If you search Oasis, you'll have access to all of the books in print. I mean, the ones in the library as well. Of course, you'll have to come into the library to check them out.
Let me see if I've got this. Oasis is exactly like the catalog for the library here at school. And so I can find all the books and materials that are on the shelves, but I can't see them.
Right. But if you want to go to NetLibrary after you use Oasis, then you can look for a particular resource to see whether it's part of our online holdings. If it is, then you can just read it on your computer screen. Look, you can enter a title or an author or even a subject, and then you get a list of books. When you click on a title, you see the table of contents. You can read one chapter or the whole book if you want.
That is so great. Oh, one more thing. If I don't have time to read it all, do I just start over again next time? Or, is there like an easy way to get back to my book?
It's very easy. You just bookmark your place and click on your ebook when you go into the site next time. It'll open to the page you marked.
Well, I think the best thing for me to do is open an account and then go back to my apartment and start working with it.
There's a help screen on the site, but if you get stuck, just call the library and someone will walk you through it.
And how do I pay for this? Do I have a one-time fee or a monthly charge or what?
No charge. It's part of the library system. You're a student here, so when you log in, you'll be asked to enter your student ID number after your username, and then your password. And that's it. Here's the screen you need to open the account. I'm sure you'll like using NetLibrary. Everyone does.
Number 1. What is the main topic of this conversation? Two. What is Oasis? Three. How does the man set up an account? Four. How does the man pay for NetLibrary? Five. Listen again to part of the conversation, then answer the question.
Let me see if I've got this. Oasis is exactly like the catalog for the library here at school. And so I can find all the books and materials that are on the shelves, but I can't see them.
Why does the man say this?
Let me see if I've got this.
6. What will the man probably do now? Exercise 16. Conversation 1. Listen to part of a conversation between a student and a secretary at the newspaper office.
I'd like to put an ad in the newspaper, please.
A classified ad?
Yes, I want to sell my furniture. I'm moving.
I see. May I have your name, please?
Bill Martin.
Martin?
YN.
Okay, Martyn. And your address, Mr. Martin?
For the next few weeks, I'll be at the Garden Apartments on Book Boulevard.
Is that where you want to be billed?
No, I'll probably be gone before a bill could be sent. I'm just going to pay cash.
Okay. The rates are by the inch, not by the word. So if you want to use abbreviations, that might save you some money.
Oh, that's a good idea. I have everything written out here, but I'll just check it over before I give it to you. Maybe I can use some shorter words, too.
Okay. You can use that table over there to make your revisions. Just bring it back to me when you're ready.
Number 1. What prompted the conversation? Two. What does the man want to sell? 3. What is the man's last name? 4. How will the man pay? 5. Why does the man decide to revise what he has written? 2. Listen to part of a conversation between a student and a sales clerk at the family store.
Will that be cash or charge? We also accept debit cards if they are on a local bank.
I want to pay by check, if I may.
Certainly. That's cash, then.
Cash?
Yes, both money and checks are considered cash. Only credit cards are charge.
Oh,
Just make the check out to the family store.
okay.
And I'll need 2 pieces of identification, a driver's license and a major credit card.
Well, here's my driver's license. I don't have any charge cards, but I do have my student ID card from City College. Will that be all right?
I think so. I need 2 numbers. Your student number is on the ID, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Do you need anything else?
Just put your telephone number on the front of the check.
Okay.
Good. Now let me give you your license, your ID, and your package. And thank you for shopping at the family store.
Thank you.
Number 1. What is the purpose of the conversation? 2. What is meant by the term cash? 3. How does the woman pay for her purchase? 4. What did the woman use as identification? 5. Who was the man in this conversation? 17. Conversation 1. Listen to part of a conversation between a student and a professor on campus.
I'm really sorry, Professor Irwin. I was sick yesterday.
Look, I'm not upset that you couldn't keep the appointment, but it is common courtesy to call. You know that.
Yes, I do.
During registration, I have to see all my students, and sometimes they have to wait several days to get in. When someone doesn't show and doesn't call, that deprives someone else of an appointment time.
You're right. I apologize. I didn't feel well, and I guess I just wasn't thinking straight at the time.
Okay. Apology accepted. Now I suppose you need to set up another appointment.
Yes, I do. Can you see me now if I wait?
No. I can see you at 3 o'clock this afternoon or during my office hour on Tuesday or Thursday.
Great. Your office hour is best. That's 2 o'clock, right?
That's right. Which day do you prefer?
Tuesday.
Okay. Be there this time.
I will be. Thanks a lot.
Number 1. What is the main subject of the conversation? Two. When is the man's new appointment scheduled? 3. What should the man have done about his first appointment? 4. What is the man's excuse? 5. What word best describes Professor Irwin's attitude toward the student? Conversation 2. Listen to part of a conversation between a student and a professor on campus.
Dr. Newberry, could I speak with you?
Sure, come on in.
I need to ask you to let me take the final early.
May I ask why?
Yes, it's because I bought a ticket to go home for Christmas, and my flight leaves on Tuesday. That's the day before the exam.
Yes, well, Penny, the exam schedule is printed in the registration materials. You had to know the dates. Why didn't you buy your ticket for the day after the exam?
Truthfully, I just made a mistake. And now I've got a real problem because the ticket is non-refundable, and I can't afford to buy another one. Dr. Newberry, I live too far away to get home for Thanksgiving and spring break like the other students do. This is my only chance to see my family during the school year. I'm sorry that it happened. But couldn't you make an exception this time? Or could you give me an incomplete and let me make it up next semester?
Okay, anyone can make a mistake. You can take the exam on Monday.
Thank you. I really appreciate this.
Number 1. What is the woman's main purpose in this conversation? Two. Why does the woman have a problem? 3. On what day is the exam scheduled? 4. What does the professor decide to do? 5. When does this conversation most probably take place? 'Exercise 18. Conversation 1. Listen to part of a conversation between a student and a professor.
Dr. Stevens?
Oh, hi, Jim.
I'm a little early, about 10 minutes. Do you want me to come back later?
No, not at all. Come on in.
Thanks.
Have a seat. I want to talk with you a little bit before you take the test. You realize that this won't be... But it isn't the same test that everyone else took in class last Friday.
Yes, I know. I noticed that policy on the syllabus.
Good. I try to include everything on the syllabus. But, well, students don't always read a syllabus that carefully. So, the test that I gave in class was mostly multiple choice and true-false and with a few matching. In other words, it was an objective test.
Okay.
The makeup is an essay test with, let's see, it has 3 questions on it. I occasionally give oral recitations instead of essays, but...
Oh, I'm glad it isn't an oral exam.
Good. In general, my makeup tests are, let's say, they're more difficult than the tests in class. Because, frankly, I want to discourage my students from using the makeup option.
Okay, I understand, Dr. Stevens. I'm just glad to have an opportunity to make it up. I was so sick last Friday. Believe me, I couldn't have gotten a good grade on a test.
And how are you now?
A lot better, thanks. I went over to the health center instead of going to classes last Friday, and I got some medicine, some antibiotics, and some kind of decongestant. By Sunday, I was feeling better. You should have seen the waiting room over there. Anyway, I was lucky. My other classes meet on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I have one independent study. I didn't miss any other classes. I mean, just yours on Friday. Too bad it was a test day, though.
Yes. Well, when you finish this, you'll be all caught up.
Mostly, I still have a lot of reading to do in my other classes. That medicine just knocked me out, so I slept a lot. Am I the only one taking a makeup?
You are. So if you want to get started, you can just leave your books here. All you need to take with you is your pencil and just a second. I'll get your test. Here you go.
Thanks.
Why don't you take a look at it and I can answer any questions you have before you get started.
Okay. It's pretty straightforward, Dr. Stevens. The only thing I can think of to ask is how long the essay should be. For each question, I mean.
Well, the answer should be as long as it takes to respond to the question. But that doesn't help you much, does it? I'd say you'd need 2 or maybe 3 paragraphs to develop each of the questions fully.
Okay.
Anything else?
Not that I can think of.
Okay, then. You can just leave your jacket and your backpack here. There's a conference room 2 doors down, and it should be quiet there. I'll show you where it is. And then when you finish, you can just bring your test back to me.
You'll be...
I'll be in my office.
Oh, Dr. Stevens, sorry. I just thought of another question. How long do I have to finish?
Of course, I'm glad you asked. 50 minutes, which is just about the same amount of time you would have had in class. But knowing you, I think you'll probably finish long before that. Do you have a watch on?
Yes.
Good. I don't think there's a clock in the conference room. In any case, if you haven't turned in the test by 1:45, I'll come to the room to collect it, okay?
Okay, well, thanks again. I appreciate this.
You're welcome, Jim. Good luck.
Number 1. What is the main topic of this conversation? Two. Why did the man need to take the test? 3. What kind of test will the man take? 4. How long does he have to complete the test? Five. Listen again to part of the conversation, then answer the question.
50 minutes, which is just about the same amount of time you would have had in class. But knowing you, I think you'll probably finish long before that.
Why does the professor say this?
But knowing you, I think you'll probably finish long before that.
Six. What can we assume about the man? Conversation 2. Listen to part of a conversation between a student and a professor.
Dr. Jones?
Hi, Marge.
Hi. I was wondering whether to make an appointment with you or, whether I should come back while the secretary's here.
Do you have time to talk now? My 2 o'clock canceled, so I'm free.
That'd be great.
What do you have on your mind?
Well, I need your advice. I like your class. I mean, it's my favorite one.
I'm glad. Are you a biology major?
Pre-med, but biology is my emphasis.
Good. And I'm looking at my grade book, and you have a B+ in the class. You could probably pull that up to an A before the end of the semester.
I know I could. If I had the time to study. But the problem is, well, you see, I took 6 classes this semester, and that's okay. I can handle that. I've taken 6 classes before, and I've done all right, but 2 of my classes are lab classes. So I have the labs and the lab assignments on top of the classes, and I'm really in over my head.
I see. Labs do take a lot of time.
They do, if you do them right. So I thought, if you'd give me permission to drop your biology class, then I'd take it over again next semester.
Well, it's very late in the semester to drop a course. You have only 2 weeks left before the final.
I know. I can't do it without the professor's, without your signature, but I just don't see any other way.
Marge, I'm sure you've thought this through, so can you tell me why you decided to drop the biology class? You said it was your favorite class, and you're doing well in it. So I'm a little surprised that you didn't decide to perhaps drop another class instead.
Oh, no. You see, I'll have to take the course that I drop over again, from the beginning, next semester. And I really like biology, and I really like the way you teach it, so I thought I wouldn't mind repeating it as much as, well, some of my other classes.
I see. Well, have you considered taking an incomplete?
Not really. I've never done that. I'm not even, not sure what it means.
Marge, what you would do is continue attending class, but you wouldn't have to turn in your lab reports and take your final until next semester.
Is that possible?
Not always, but in this case, I'm willing to do it, with one condition.
What's that?
I want you to write a memo to your advisor explaining that the 18-hour schedule was too much, and that you have indicated to me that you don't plan to take so many hours again. And I'd like to have a copy of the memo for my file.
Oh, Dr. Jones, I'd be glad to do that. I really learned my limits this semester. I know, and I don't ever plan to get myself in this mess again.
Good. Then I'll fill out the paperwork when I turn in my grades, and you'll see an I on your grade report. And Marge, I should tell you that if you don't complete the requirements for the course by the end of next semester, then you'll receive an F for the class.
That won't happen. I'll finish my lab reports and study for the final over the break, and if it's okay with you, I'll just take the exam as soon as we get back. In January,
That's a good plan.
Number 1. What is the purpose of this conversation? Two. What does Marge mean when she says she is over her head? 3. Why does Marge want to drop the biology class? 4. Why does Marge need the professor's signature? 5. Listen again to part of the conversation, then answer the question.
I see. Well, have you considered taking an incomplete?
Why does the professor say this?
Well, have you considered taking an incomplete?
6. Why does Dr. Jones want Marge to write a memo to her advisor?